Assalamu alaikum dear students, I am your instructor Salman Amin Malik for the course Linear Algebra, and today we are having the third lecture of Linear Algebra. Before I start the lecture, I must recall the contents of the lecture 1 and lecture 2. हमने सीखा था कि सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशंस क्या होता है, सोल्यूशन ऑफ सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशन क्या होता है, ऑगमेंटेड मैट्रिक्स बनाना सीखा था, और उसके बाद गॉश एलिमिनेशन मेथड जो है वो सीखा था कि उससे बाय यूजिंग गॉश एलिमिनेशन मेथड हाउ वी आर एबल टू सॉल्व द सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशन. दिस वाज द कंटेंट ऑफ द फर्स्ट लेक्चर. सेकंड लेक्चर में हमने जो है एलिमेंट्री रो ऑपरेशंस डिफाइन किए थे और ऑगमेंटेड मैट्रिक्स जो होता है which contains all the information of the system of linear equation, for example the number of variables and number of equations. Augmented matrix पे elementary row operations use करके we have defined the two terms, the echelon form of the augmented matrix and reduced echelon form of the augmented matrix. In fact, if we have a system of linear equation and we are given the augmented matrix of the system of linear equation and we reduce that matrix, augmented matrix, to the echelon form or reduced echelon form of the matrix, then we can justify or we can get the solution or information about the solution of the system of linear equation. उसके बाद फिर मैंने आपको स्टेप्स बताए थे जिन स्टेप्स को फॉलो करना है whenever you are going to solve the system of linear equation, and we have categorized the variables of a given system of variables into basic variables and free variables. Basic variables are those variables for which the value of the basic variables can be obtained by using the free variables if there are free variables. अब system of linear equation जो है हमने स्टडी किया हुआ है कि system of linear equation can have a unique solution, infinite many solution. इन दोनों केसेस को हम कहते हैं कि system of linear equation is consistent, and a system of linear equation can have no solution. इस केस को हम कहते हैं कि system of linear equation is inconsistent. So whenever we have a unique solution, all the variables in your system of linear equations are basic variables. And I told you that whenever we have infinite many solutions of a system of linear equations, then we must have at least one free variable. कम से कम एक फ्री वेरिएबल आपका जरूर होना चाहिए अगर आपका सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशन जो है उसका इनफाइनाइट मैनी सॉल्यूशंस हैं. अगर आपका यूनिक सॉल्यूशन है सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशन का, सो देयर विल बी नो फ्री वेरिएबल्स एंड ऑल वेरिएबल्स विल बी बेसिक वेरिएबल्स. एट द एंड मैंने आपको कुछ प्रैक्टिस प्रॉब्लम्स दिए थे. प्रैक्टिस प्रॉब्लम्स जो थे वो बड़े इंटरेस्टिंगली पिक किए गए थे और आई होप दैट मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव डन इट. उन प्रैक्टिस प्रॉब्लम में से एज यूजुअल in the beginning of my lecture I will solve one practice problem. So let's start today's lecture, which is the lecture number 3rd for the linear algebra. Third lecture में, before starting the third lecture, let me solve the practice problem which I have given to you at the end of the second lecture. And the question is, you have to choose h and k such that the system, which is 2 by 2 system, and in this equation h and k are involved, and we have to find out the values of h and k for 3 possibilities. That the first possibility A is we have no solution, the second possibility is we have a unique solution, and the third possibility is that we have many solutions. So the first possibility, as I have told you that whenever you have to solve the system of linear equation of any number of variables and any number of equations, the first step is you have to write down the augmented matrix of the system of linear equations. So in order to solve this example, I am going to write down the augmented matrix of the system of linear equation. The first row corresponds to the first equation, and first entry will be 1 because our first variable x1 has, in the first equation, the variable x1 has coefficient 1. That's why I write here 1. Then minus 3. Why I write here minus 3? Because the second variable x2 in the first equation has coefficient minus 3. And the right hand side is 1 for the first equation. For the second equation, we have coefficient of the first variable 2 and the coefficient of the second variable x2 in the second equation is h, and we have the right hand side of the second equation as k. So this is our matrix, which is what we call the augmented matrix of a system of linear equation. In our case, we have a 2 by 2 system of linear equations. Remember that the first column corresponds to the coefficients of the variable x1 in our system of linear equations. Similarly, the second column corresponds to the coefficients of the variable x2 in our system of linear equation. And the rightmost column of the augmented matrix always represents the right hand side of the each equation in our system of linear equation. So this was the first step to solve the system of linear equations. The second step is I have to write down or get the echelon form of the matrix. In order to do that, the first step is I have to see that whether in my augmented matrix there is a row which have entries of zeros. तो ये मैं देखता हूँ अपने मैट्रिक्स को, कोई ऐसी रो नहीं है जिसमें all entries are 0. So next step is, for the first row, I will select the leading entry. Remember that the leading entry is the leftmost non-zero entry of your row. So the leading entry is this one for the first row. The next step is I have to make a row operation that will make all the entries below the leading entry as 0. So here I have 2 and I have to make it 0. So I choose the row operation that R2 minus 2 times R1. That elementary row operation will make here 0. Okay? So my matrix will be reduced into 1, the first row as it is, minus 3, 1, 0, H plus 6 and K minus 2. So entry corresponding to the 2 becomes 0. The next I have to choose the leading entry in the second row, which becomes H plus 6x, and this is a 2 by 3 matrix. So there is no entry below this value, which is H plus 6. So my matrix is in echelon form now. If I transform this matrix into the variables form, I will get x1 minus 3x2 equals 1 and h plus 6 x2 equals k minus 2. If you remember that we have learned in the second lecture a result about the existence of the system of linear equation, which states that if in echelon form, your matrix in echelon form has such a row 0, 0, so on B, and your B is a non-zero real number, then the system of linear equation is inconsistent. Inconsistent means has no solution. So in order to make that system of linear equation which has no solution, I have to make sure that this entry h plus 6 should be 0 and k minus 2 should not equals to 0. If I impose this condition on h and k, then I will have my second row as 0, 0 and some non-zero real number b, which is in fact k minus 2. So this will be, I will have such type of row if I impose these two conditions on h and k. So by using the result which we have learned in the second lecture, that our system of linear equation will have no solution for this case. So the answer of the A part is that h plus 6 should be equal 0, which further gives us h equals minus 6 and k not equal to 2. If these are the values of h and k, so we will have no solution. If we have to make a unique solution, then we must have, for the unique solution, remember that there will be no free variable. So we should have h plus 6 not equal to 0 and k minus 2, it could be 0 or not equal to 0. In fact, if it is 0, then we have from this equation, if k minus 2 equals 0, from this equation we will have x2 equals 0, and by back substitution we will have x1 equals 1. So we have a unique solution. And if we have k minus 2 is not equal to 0, then we will have x2 equals k minus 2 divided by h plus 6. Now h plus 6 is not equal to 0, so we are not having the condition that something real number divided by 0. Division by 0 is not allowed in mathematics. Whenever we have this condition, h plus 6 is not equal to 0. So we have a solution, x2 equals some real number in terms of h and k, and by back substitution we can have the expression of x1 also, and that will be a unique expression for particular values of h and k. So for the second case B, the answer should be h should not equals to minus 6 and k could be any real number. It doesn't matter. K belongs to R, any real number. Then the C part, for the C part, we have to make sure that our system of linear equation has infinite many solutions. Our system of linear equation will have infinite many solutions whenever we have a free variable, and we will have a free variable when our h plus 6 equals 0 and our k minus 2 also equals 0. Then we have the second row will become 0, 0, 0. And corresponding to this row, in the system we have 0 equals 0, no information, whereas in the first row we have x1 minus 3x2 equals 1, and from x1, this equation, we have x1 equals 3x2 plus 1. Look at this equation. We are having the value of x1 by taking any value of x2. In other words, we have a free variable, which is x2. Now take any value of x2. You have a value of x1. How many possible values of x2 are there? There are infinite many possibilities of values of x2. In fact, x2 can take any value from the set of real numbers. So we are having the infinite many or many solutions whenever we have h equals minus 6 and k equals 2. So this is the solution of the corresponding to the third case. So this is just an example to recall you the basic things which we have learned in the second lecture. ये just एक recall करने के लिए आपको example करवाई गई थी. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss some different spaces. Space is a set which contains certain elements and it is obeys certain laws. We are going to discuss this. So the first step of starting is the R2. What are the vectors? Let's go to the slide and define a matrix with one column is called a vector. Any matrix which has one column and different rows, maybe 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 100, is a vector. Now vectors are usually denoted by bold letters in linear algebra. And for example, in the slide you have u equals 1, 0. These are the vectors from two-dimensional plane. And we write in linear algebra that we have vectors in R2, written as R2 here, R2, which is in fact the Cartesian product of real numbers. This is the real number, the set of real number. So these are the few vectors from R2. U equals 1, 0, u equals 1, 0. The x component is 1 and y component is 0. The x component is 6 and y component is, the x component is 5 and y component is minus 6. Similarly, this is the general vector. The x component is x1 and the y component is x2. आप familiar होंगे वेक्टर्स के, आपने वेक्टर्स फिजिक्स में पढ़े होंगे या इन अदर मैथमेटिक्स में भी पढ़े होंगे कि अगर इसी को फॉर एग्जांपल x वेक्टर को मैं लिखता हूं तो x1i प्लस x2j, ये आपने पढ़े होंगे वेक्टर इस फॉर्म में. i और j यूनिट वेक्टर्स हैं along x axis and y axis. These are the exactly same thing, but in linear algebra we will study the vectors in the shape of matrices which have only one column and different rows. For example, from 2D plane or R2, all the vector has 2 rows and 1 column. So the order of each matrix is 2 into 1. This matrix also has order 2 into 1. Sum of the vectors, of course, I component is added to the I component and j component added to the j component. And here, if you have u equals 1 minus 2 and v equals 8, 7, 1, these are two vectors from R2, then u plus v is the matrix, the column matrix 1 minus 2 plus the column matrix 8, 7. And we add the corresponding entries. 8 plus 1 equals 9, minus 2 plus 7 equals 5, hence this is the answer. Scalar multiplication is also important in the vectors, and of course whenever we say the vectors, they have a direction. Geometrically we are going to discuss in the next slide. Let V be a vector from R2. Why R2? Because it has 2 rows and its order is 2 into 1, and we have already defined that a matrix which have only one column will be said to be a vector in linear algebra. Then CV, where C is a scalar, is just 8C into 7C. Everybody knows that. For particular example, if we take C equals 3, then CV equals 24 and 21, because 8 3s are 24 and 7 3s are 21. So vectors in R2, in this slide I have an example in which we are given 2 vectors u and v, and we have to find 4u. Let's say 4u will be 4 times the vector 8 and entries 8 and 7. That will become 8 4s are 32 and 28. This is the answer. For example, minus 3v, similarly you can have the minus 3v. Minus 3v will be equals 3 minus 9. And the third one is 4u, which we have calculated, 4u plus minus 3v, which is 32, 28, this column vector plus 3 minus 9. And ultimately we have answered 32 plus 3, 28 minus 9, and we will have 35, and here we have 19. Okay, so this is the answer of the vectors 4u plus minus 3v. In fact, we can do 5u minus 4v. We can find out. In fact, we can say minus 10u plus 5v equals, you can evaluate all these vectors. These vectors, which are obtained by just multiplying the old vectors u and v with a real number. Here the real number is 4, here the real number is minus 3 and we are adding it, here the real number is 5, and here the real number is minus 4. So we are having the new vectors from the old vectors. Such a process of finding the new vectors is known as, or these expressions are known as linear combination. Linear combinations. I am going to define in the next slides in detail, and we are going to discuss the many examples of linear combinations of different vectors. I just float the idea in this slide. So let's discuss the geometry of the vectors of R2. Geometry of the vectors of R2 is very simple. R2 could be considered as set of all points in the plane. For example, 2, 2, this is a point, 3, minus 1 having x coordinate 3, y coordinate minus 3, and it could be represented also as a position vector 2, 2, which has a direction towards this point 2. So R2 could be considered as set of all points in the plane, and of course you know that how we get the coordinate of these points, and in linear algebra we write 2, 2, the column matrix for this, for example this vector, for this position vector, and this x coordinate, you know that you have this x coordinate by taking a perpendicular on the x-axis, and 2 is in fact the distance of origin from the foot of the perpendicular. This distance is 2. Similarly, perpendicular on the y-axis, that's how you are going to find out the coordinate of any point in the plane which has been defined by the reference axes x1 and x2. These are the reference axes, and usually you are aware of the terms x-axis and y-axis, and in linear algebra we define x1 and x2. It's the name, it doesn't change anything. So we have the geometry of R2. R2 consists of the vectors which have two components, one component along x1 axis and second component along x2 axis. And any arbitrary vector of R2, arbitrary vector means any vector of R2 can be written as the matrix having two rows and one column with x1 and x2, and x1 and x2 could be any real numbers. So let's go to the next slide. Geometric description of R2. Everybody of you know the parallelogram rule of it. For the addition of two vectors, given two vectors, then we complete the parallelogram which forms the adjacent sides of these vectors as adjacent sides, and the diagonal is the resultant vector of u plus v. So the rule is you are going to complete the parallelogram. Here in this example you are given the two vectors u and v, so you are completing the parallelogram and the diagonal is corresponding to the sum of the vectors u and v. Here this is. For particular example, you are given the two vectors of R2, 2, 2 and v is minus 6, 1, and you can calculate algebraically u plus v equals minus 4, 3, whereas geometrically it is shown here in this figure. And it is easy, I am not going to explain these slides. So geometric description of R2 is very important because we are going to study the linear combinations in R2, and that will help us in understanding the concept of linear combination. What does it mean, the linear combination? I am going to explain in the next slide. So let u is a vector. Here we have this vector. Display the vectors u, 2u and minus 2 by 3u geometrically. So we call these vectors u, 2u, minus 2 by 3u, all these vectors are the linear multiples of u, and u, whenever we have 0 into u, that will pass through the origin. So we have u in this figure here, and 2u will be just the vector for which the magnitude of the vector has been increased by 2 units, whatever the magnitude of the vector u is, and direction is the same. And minus 2 by 3u is that we have reversed the direction, this one, and magnitude, there is an effect of magnitude which is decreased by 2 by 3 units. Now let's generalize the concept to the R3. So any vector in R3 could be a matrix having 3 rows and 1 column. That will be a matrix, column matrix having 3 rows, and that will be in R3. R3 is a 3-dimensional space, as in the slides. In the 2-dimensional space we have 2 axes, x-axis and y-axis only, and in 3D space we have another axis which is perpendicular to the x and y-axis, and this divides our 3-dimensional space in which we are living into 8 different octants. Octant is a part of the space which has been obtained by these 3 reference axes. Any point in 3-dimensional space PABC can be represented as a position vector from the reference point origin, what we call the origin O. अब ये कोऑर्डिनेट जो PABC लिखे गए हैं ये एग्जैक्टली इन द सेम वे निकाले जाते हैं जिस तरह हमने 2D में निकालने सीखे हैं, कि आप परपेंडिकुलर प्लॉट करें x-axis पे और y-axis पे, then the distance from the reference point origin to the foot of the perpendicular is the x-coordinate, and the foot of the perpendicular जो था वो हमने x-axis पे प्लॉट किया था. Similarly, the y-coordinate is the perpendicular of the from the point to the y-axis, and the distance y-coordinate is the distance from the origin to the foot of the perpendicular that we have drawn. Similarly, in three-dimensional space, we draw a perpendicular in the xy plane. Whenever we are in xy plane, we can get the x and y coordinate, and z coordinate is obtained by drawing a perpendicular which is here like this on the z-axis, and from the origin to this distance is the z coordinate. So any vector in R3 could be represented by a matrix, a column matrix having 3 rows and of course 1 column. So we are going to generalize, we are going to talk about the Rn, where n is any positive integer. So Rn is a space, is a collection of sets, is a collection of points in which every vector has n different components. In other words, if I am going to represent any element of Rn in terms of a column matrix, then the number of rows for the column matrix will be n, and number of columns of course will be 1, because we have defined the vectors in linear algebra as defining the matrix having column 1. So ये जो है Rn जो है, Rn बड़ा अच्छा यूक्लिडियन स्पेस पीस है हम कहते हैं, और ये थ्रू आउट द लीनियर अलजेब्रा के कोर्स में हम Rn की डिफरेंट प्रॉपर्टीज जो हैं ये स्टडी करेंगे, जो कि नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे भी आ रही हैं. n could be any positive number. If n equals 2, we have 2-dimensional space. If n equals 3, we have 3-dimensional space. If n equals 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 100, so on and so forth, then we have the vectors having the same number of components as the n. For example, R5 में every vector will have 5 components. So every vector in R5 could be represented as a column matrix with 5 rows. Let's go to the next slide. Rn, where n is a positive integer, satisfies certain very interesting properties, which are I have mentioned in this slide, what we call the algebraic properties of Rn. For this we suppose that the 3 vectors u, v and w are from Rn. It means u could be like that. It will have n vectors, u1, u2, so on, and the last component is un. These are the components of vector u. And of course u1, u2, un are the real numbers. Similarly, v, w are from the space Rn. And all scalars, for all the scalars, these are the scalars c, c and d. The Rn, the set Rn satisfies following properties. The first property is that you add u plus v and you change the order, the answer is the same. What we call the commutative property. Commutative property. That if we change the order whenever we add 2 vectors, the answer is the same. The second property is the associative property. We call the associative property. We have 3 vectors u plus v. What does it mean? Whether you add 2 vectors first and then add to the third vector the answer of the 2 vectors, this represents the answer of the 2 vectors, and then add to the third vector, the answer will be the same as adding the other 2 vectors v and w and then add to the resulting vector u. Similarly, 0 here, it's not a single 0, it's a null vector which contains all entries, n entries as 0, 0, 0, so on and so forth, 0. This is the null vector. So whenever we add any vector to the null vector or null vector to any vector, then the answer is the same vector. Of course it is. This law is known as the additive inverse law, that there exists a vector minus u for every vector u. Whenever you add u to that vector, which is the additive inverse, इसको हम additive inverse कहते हैं, then the answer will always be a null vector. And of course this is also possible, simple. The fifth property is that if C is a scalar, you have two vectors, whether you add two vectors first and then multiply that vector with C, the answer will be the same whether you multiply these vectors separately. First you multiply the vectors and then add, the answer will be same. The sixth property is that you have two real numbers C and D. Whether you add these real numbers and then multiply the answer with the vector u, the answer will be same whether you multiply the vectors with C first, then you multiply the same vector with D and then add the results. The third property is that, the seventh property is that you have two different real numbers C and D. Whether you multiply C to the vector which has been obtained by multiplying a vector u with D, the answer will be same. And this is the multiplicative identity, that there is a vector 1 to which you multiply any vector and you are having the answer vector u. So any set of vectors which satisfy these conditions is known as a vector space. वेक्टर स्पेस जो है नेक्स्ट लेक्चर्स में हमने स्टडी करेंगे, हमारे फोर्थकमिंग लेक्चर्स में वेक्टर स्पेसेस को इन डिटेल हम स्टडी करेंगे. सो आर एन, दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल इट द स्पेसेस. आर एन is a space. R2 also satisfy these all 8 conditions. R3 also satisfy all these 8 conditions. लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशंस, जो कि मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया, लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशंस अ लिटिल बिट हिंट दिया था. अब हम फॉर्मली जो है लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन को डिफाइन करते हैं. गिवन वेक्टर्स v1 v2 vp, you have p vectors from Rn, and remember that n is any positive integer. N could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So you are given p vectors from Rn and you are given different scalars C1, C2, C3, Cp. Let's go to the slides. This one, these are the scalars. We can define a new vector by multiplying these scalars with these vectors v1, v2, v3, vp and adding them. So this is this new vector which has been formed by multiplying each vector by a scalar and adding the resulting vector is known as a linear combination of vectors v1, v2 up to so on vp with weights c1, c2, so on and so forth cp. So this is the general definition of linear combination of any number of given vectors. Given vectors are p. P could be any positive number from Rn, and Rn could be R2, R3 and R4. For example, the selected linear combination of these two vectors which are from R2, v1 and v2 vectors are from R2, are shown in this figure. For example, this is v1, this is v2, and this is just the 2 times of v2, and this is the 3 by 2 times v1 plus v2, and this is the geometry of sum of the linear combination. Now these weights are from the set of real numbers. Every weight C1 could be any real number, C2 could be any real number, Cp could be any real number. So how many linear combinations are possible? If Ci is I from 1 to p can assume infinite many values. How many real numbers are there? There are infinite many real numbers. So we are having, for each set of values of C1, C2 up to Cp, we are having a linear combination. So in fact we are having infinite many linear combinations for a given set of vectors from Rn. ठीक है जी, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे चलते हैं. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे आपका राइट 3 डिफरेंट लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ द वेक्टर्स u1, u and v. These are the vectors from R2, ये R2 में से हैं, और ये वेक्टर्स जो हैं ये R belongs to R3, और ये वेक्टर्स जो हैं ये R2 में से. तो इनके 3 कॉम्बिनेशन हमने कोई से भी लिखने हैं. लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन इन जनरली स्पीकिंग क्या होता है? C1u प्लस C2v, where C1 and C2 belongs to real number R. Here we have the R, the set of real numbers. C1, C2 could be anyone. So let's take, I have to write any 3 linear combination. Let's say I take C1 equals 1 and C2 equals 1. So I am having a linear combination 1, 2 plus 2, 5, and the answer is 3, 7. So this is one linear combination. How many possible values are there for C1 and C2? Infinite many, because these are from the set of real numbers. Let's say I take C1 equals -1 and C2 equals 0. So my answer for this will become -1 and -2. So this is the second. The first linear combination, the second linear combination. The third linear combination, let's say I take C1 equals, let's say 10 and C2 equals, let's say -1. So the linear combination will be 10 into 1, 2 plus -1 into 2, 5. Then the answer will be 10, 2 plus -2 -5, and ultimately I am having 8 and -3. So these are the three linear combination from of the vectors u and v, and the vectors are from R2. Okay. In fact, you can take any values of C1 and C2. These are the real numbers. Similarly, we can write the 3 different linear combinations for these vectors which are from R3. Let's say if generally I am writing C1 u plus C2 v, this is a linear combination, and where C1 and of course C2 belongs to the set of real numbers. If I take C1 equals 0 and C2 equals 1, then I am having the first linear combination as V as it is, 3 and 5. If I can take C1 equals -1 and C2 equals 0, I am having another linear combination which is -1, 0 and 5. I can take C1 equals 2 and C2 equals, let's say 3. So I am having the linear combination 2, 0, 10 plus 0, 9, 15. So the answer of this equation, vector equation, this is a vector equation. We call it a vector equation because C1 and C2 are real numbers and u and v are vectors, and ultimately the answer is a vector. So we call such a equation a vector equation. So the answer will be 2, 9, 25 for these values of C1 and C2. Now you can take any C1 and C2. So if I am asking you that you have to write down, let's say 5 combinations of these vectors, you can write. Okay, Likewise, I have written here 3 different linear combinations of both these vectors. So a linear combination is in fact a vector equation which is C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus Cn Vn equals B, and B is the answer of these linear equation. A vector equation has the same solution as the linear system whose augmented matrix is this one, as in the previous example we have done it. So whenever we try to solve, this is a system of linear equation with n variables and n equations, because each Vn belongs to Rn, are the from Rn and has component n rows. So this is very important information, that a vector equation has the same solution as the augmented matrix whose columns are obtained from these vectors. See here, V1, the first column is, for this matrix is V1, the second column is V2, so on and so forth, Vn, and we have B here. This is a matrix. If the vectors Vi's are from Rn, then this will be a n into n plus 1 matrix. In particular, B can be generated by a linear combination if and only if, as we did the previous example, B can be generated in the linear combination if and only if there exists a solution of the linear system corresponding to matrix 1. Write the system of linear equation corresponding to each vector equation. So this is just an easy exercise, that we have to write down the system of linear equation for each. For example, 1 can be written as minus 2x1 3x2 1 equals plus 7x2 5x2 should be equals 0 and 1. Now I am going to add the left hand side. It will become minus 2x1 plus 7x2 3x1 plus 5x2 equals 0 and 1. So two matrices are equal. It means that their corresponding entries are equals 0, 3x1 plus 5x2 equals 1. So this is the system of linear equations corresponding to this vector equation. Similarly, we can have now, for the second one, I am going to write down directly the system of linear equation. That will be x1 minus x2 equals 7, 5x1 plus 6x2 equals 5, minus 2x1 plus 3x2 equals 0. So this is the system of linear equation corresponding to this vector equation. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Span of a given vectors. You are given a set of vectors. Now I am going to define the span of a set of given vectors. What does it mean? Span क्या होता है? हमने कोई भी linear combination जो है वो सीख लिया है कि अगर if you are given a set of vectors और उन vectors का linear combination क्या होता है, और हमने ये भी नोटिस किया है कि linear combinations जो हैं वो there are infinite many linear combinations of given vectors, चाहे R2 में से हो, चाहे R3 में से, चाहे Rn में से हो, infinite many linear combinations होते हैं. If I collect all these linear combinations, अगर इन तमाम linear combinations को मैं collect कर लूँ और एक set में रख दूँ, that set is known as the span of the given vectors. जो भी given vectors हैं उनका all linear combinations उनको एक set में डाल दूँ, that set is known as the span of the linear combination. Now let's see the definition on the slide. If V1, V2, Vp, if V1, V2, Vp are in Rn, that is these v1, v2 up to so on vp have n components, then the set of all linear combinations of v1, v2, vp is denoted by this one, span of the given vectors. These are the given vectors v1, v2 and vp, and is called the subset of Rn. Of course ये जो है span जो होगा ये subset होगा Rn का, spanned और generated by this one. ये span जो होगा ये एक subset होगा Rn का, और ये generated by, हम कहेंगे कि this set is spanned or generated by these vectors v1, v2 up to so on vp. That is, span v1, v2, vp is the collection of all vectors that can be written in the form, in this form. And इस form का हमने क्या नाम रखा था? Linear combination. The set of all linear combination is known as the span of the given vectors, where c1, c2, cp are the scalars, and normally these are from the set of real numbers. Remark: a given vector b is in span v1, v2, vp in the same as asking whether the vector equation, if I am going to ask whether the vector equation has, this vector equation has a solution. If I am going to ask, as in the previous example, R3 में जो example थी हमने जो भी की है, कि you are given a vector b and I have asked a question that whether this vector is in the span of the given vectors v1, v2 up to so on vp, then we have to solve, we have to find out the values c1, c2 up to so on cp such that this vector equation has a solution. If this vector equation has a solution, it means we can write b as a linear combination of the vectors v1, v2, so on and so forth vp. ठीक है? अगर linear combination में लिखा गया तो set of all linear combinations का नाम हमने क्या रखा हुआ है? वो span रखा हुआ है. It means b belongs to span of the vectors v1, v2, so on and so forth vp. Or equivalently, the same thing can be said as asking whether the linear system with augmented matrix, ये हमने previous slides में देखा था कि vector equation in fact is a system of linear equation, and system of linear equation के लिए हमने एक terminology जो define की थी वो augmented matrix की थी. So it's the same thing as asking whether the system of linear equation with augmented matrix, this one, has a solution. अगर solution होगा तो हमारा B in fact span में चला जाएगा. Span क्या है? Span set of all linear combinations of a given vector. ठीक है जी? Next slide पे देखते हैं कि what are the geometric description of the span of a single vector V in R3 and span of two vectors of R3. R3 आपको बताया कि 3 dimensional space है. R3 जैसे कि हम इस स्लाइड में देख रहे हैं, R3 जो है वो आपका 3D space है. The space in which we are living, 3-dimensional space. In fact, we have one more time dimension, and theory of relativity of Einstein says that we are living in 4-dimensional space. So if you are given a single vector V, what will be the span geometrically? Of course, a single vector span will be the set of all span of a single vector V will be C1V, where C1 belongs to R. एक सिंगल वेक्टर का लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन यही बनेगा ना, स्केलर मल्टीपल ओनली. तो स्केलर मल्टीपल whenever C is 0, that will be a vector at origin. Whenever C1 equals 1, that will be a vector V. Whenever C is positive, that will have the same direction, and that will affect only the magnitude of the vector V. So the geometry of a single vector, if we have a single vector, then the geometry of the span of that vector is always a line passing through the origin, as shown in this figure. If we have two vectors, then the one vector v, this is the span of one vector and this is the span of other vector, and we have the linear combinations of these two vectors. So we have all the elements of R3 which has been in the plane formed by these two lines, which are in fact the span of V and span of U. याद रखिएगा, जब भी थ्री डिमेंशनल स्पेस में दो लाइंस इंटरसेक्ट करती हैं, दे ऑलवेज फॉर्म अ प्लेन. सो द स्पैन ऑफ टू डिफरेंट वेक्टर्स u and v, two different vectors u and v in three-dimensional space will always be a plane formed by the lines containing the vectors u and v. So this is the geometry of the span in three-dimensional space of only one vector and only two vectors. Let's go to the next slide. Span of given vectors. Let u, example, we have an example, let u be this vector and this vector has 3 rows, so it's from R3, and v be this one, and b is given by -3, 8 and 1. Then span of u is a plane through the origin in R3. Of course, अभी मैंने आपको ज्योमेट्री बताई है कि span of any two different vectors in R3 is a plane formed by the lines containing these vectors u and v. u and v कंटेन करती हुई टू लाइंस होंगी, उनकी इंटरसेक्शन जो है, और ये भी मैंने आपको बताया कि whenever two lines intersect in a three-dimensional space, they always form a plane. So u और v का स्पैन जो होगा that will be a plane. अब एक प्लेन में थ्री डिमेंशनल स्पेस में there may be infinite many lines, लाइंस लाई कर सकती हैं. So an arbitrary vector b is given and I have asked a question, is b in that plane which is formed by the linear combinations of u and v. In fact span को जब हमने डिफाइन किया था, इसी तरह डिफाइन किया था कि span is the set of all linear combinations of the vectors u and v. और ज्योमेट्रिकली हमने देखा था कि ज्योमेट्री R3 में span of two different vectors की एक प्लेन बनता है. तो एक कोई सा भी वेक्टर मैंने दिया गया विच इज b, और मैंने ये पूछा है कि b जो है वो प्लेन में है, विच प्लेन, वो प्लेन है जो कि ऑब्टेन्ड किया गया स्पैन ऑफ u एंड v के. इन ऑर्डर टू सॉल्व दिस वन वी हैव टू चेक वेदर द वेक्टर इक्वेशन दिस वन. जाहिर बात है कि हम ये चेक करेंगे कि b कैन बी रिटन एज अ लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ u एंड v. अब लीनियर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ u एंड v तो ये लिखा हुआ है मैंने, तो मैं इस सिस्टम को सॉल्व करूंगा विच इज द वेक्टर इक्वेशन equals b, whether I can find out the values of c1 and c2 such that whenever I put the values of c1 and c2 in this vector equation, the answer is b. So this vector equation is equivalent to the system of linear equations. So system of linear equations is consistent or inconsistent, ये हमने पढ़ा हुआ. The augmented matrix for this vector equation is written here, जो कि previous example में मैंने u और v put करके और equate करके add करके example solve की थी. Exactly in the same way the augmented matrix is here. अगर हमने system of linear equation को solve करना है तो हम augmented matrix को echelon form में convert करते हैं. Exactly same way we will transform this augmented matrix into echelon form by doing elementary row operations. So first I have to pick the pivot element or leading entry, which is this one, and then I have to make the entries -2 in this column, first column, as 0. So I will make the -2 and 3 disappear by using the row operation. So I will do the row operation R2 plus 2 times R1, that will make -2 0, and second row operation I will do R3 minus 3 times R1. That will make this 3 as 0. Ultimately, I will have this matrix. And of course, whenever we do the row operation, we multiply the complete row R1 by 2 and add to the each entry corresponding entry of the R2, so on and so forth. R3 के लिए भी इसी तरह. इसका क्या मतलब है कि 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करने के बाद इस एंट्री को इसमें ऐड किया गया, 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करने के बाद 10 को इसमें ऐड किया गया, -3 आंसर आ रहा है. 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करने के बाद -6 को 8 में ऐड किया गया, 2 आंसर आ रहा है. सिमिलरली R3. अब नेक्स्ट पिवट एलिमेंट और लीडिंग एलिमेंट R2 का -3 है. I have to make below the column of pivot element as -18 को मैंने disappear करना है. So I will do the row operation R3 minus 6 times R2. That will make -18 disappear into 0. So the ultimate my echelon form is this one. अब हमने ये रिजल्ट पढ़ा हुआ है. If our echelon form has such type of row which is 0 0 and some non-zero number, then our system is inconsistent. So the third equation leads to 0 equals -2. Of course this is not true, and our conclusion is system is inconsistent. Inconsistent means that we cannot find out the values of C1 and C2 such that B is written as a linear combination of C1 and C2 here. Okay? अब अगर B को linear combination में नहीं लिखा जाता तो ज्योमेट्री जो U और V के स्पैन की जो के कंटेन करता है all the linear combination, वो प्लेन फॉर्म करती थी. So the answer of that question is the vector equation has no solution and B is not in the span of U and V. In other words, B is not in the span of U and V, which is a plane formed by lines containing U and V. I hope you understand this example. So here is another example. You are given the vector U and V from R3 and another vector B from R3 which contains an unknown H. Find the values of H such that B is in the plane generated by U and V. The plane generated by U and V हमें पता है कि वो क्या होता है, span of U and V. अब span of U and V क्या होता है वो हमें पता है, which contains all linear combinations of U and V. Combinations of U and V. अब linear combination क्या होता है? Linear combination C1 U plus C2 V होता है. अब अगर हमने find out करनी है H की value such that B is in the plane generated by this one, it means that we have to solve this vector equation B, and this vector equation is equivalent to the following system of linear equation which has this augmented matrix -2, 1 and 7 and H -3 and -5. So I have to find out the value of H such that the system of linear equation corresponding to this augmented matrix is always consistent. Consistent system means has unique solution or infinite many solutions. So I will do the row operations and find out the reduced or echelon form of this matrix. The pivot element is this one, 1, and this element is already 0. I have to make this one, so I will do the row operation R3 plus 2 times R1, and my matrix will become 1 minus 2H 0 1 minus 3 0 7 minus 4, that will be 3, and minus 5 plus 2H. Next my pivot position is this one, and I have to make here 3 0. 3 को मैंने disappear करना. So I will do the row operation R3 minus 3 times R1. So my matrix will become, which is row equivalent to 1 minus 2H 0. 3 times जब मैं subtract करूंगा, that will be 0, and that will be minus 5 plus 2H, and 3 times जब मैं subtract करूंगा, that will be plus 9. So हमने जो है स्टडी किया हुआ है, यहाँ पे सेकेंड रो भी जो है हम लिख लेते हैं. हमने ये थ्योरम स्टडी किया हुआ है कि अगर एचिलॉन फॉर्म में कोई भी रो आपकी इस तरह की आती है b, where b is not equal to 0, then the system is inconsistent. So we have to make that system whose augmented matrix has this echelon form consistent. It means we cannot allow this term to be 0, non-zero. We cannot allow minus 5 plus 2H plus 9 as non-zero. If this is non-zero, then we are in this case. And according to the theorem, if we have this such type of row in our echelon form of an augmented matrix, then the system is inconsistent. But we have to make the system consistent, so we impose the condition that this minus 5 plus 2H plus 9 is always 0. क्योंकि अगर ये आपकी नॉट इक्वल टू 0 होता है, फिर तो हम इस केस में, ये केस हमारा बन जाता है, और ये केस लीड करता है हमें इनकंसिस्टेंसी को. तो हम जो है ये कंडीशन